What's up, vintage toy fans? Every Single Muscle here, and today we're back with part 2 of our Every Single Muscle compilation videos. If you missed out on part 1, don't worry, I've conveniently linked it for you right here. But if you're here for part 2, then you're in luck, because today we're going to be taking a look at muscle figures 51 through 100. So strap in, it's time for more rubbery goodness. Holy crap, would you look at that? It's another Every Single Muscle, and we are kicking things off today with number 51. This is Canadianman. Yeah, you can't really tell that he's Canadian, not in muscle form as he's monocolored, but if you take a look at the encyclopedia, there he is. The red and white color scheme really tips off the whole Canadian aspect of him, but when you look at the figure itself, it doesn't necessarily read. And in fact, that thing in the middle of his chest is not a maple leaf. It looks like some sort of, funky Celtic cross. But, a little info about Canadianman in the manga and anime series. He's kind of a perennial jobber, or we'll say enhancement talent. We don't like to say jobber anymore. That's a little disrespectful to lower card wrestlers. But Canadianman, always there. He's a friend of the Justice Chojin. He's one of the Justice Chojin, but definitely a low card kind of guy. As a figure, though, definitely got some personality. He looks kind of evil, but he also looks fun. Gotta love him. What do we got here? Why, it's another Every Single Muscle, and this time we've got number 52. This is Jawsman. Jawsman got a big old mouth full of pointy teeth and a fin on top of his head because he's a shark. He's based on a shark. That's why his name is Jawsman. Pretty cool figure here. In the anime and in the manga series, he appears in the 21st Chojin Olympics arc. Kind of a minor character. He doesn't last very long, but his figure lasts forever. Well, what do we have here? It's another Every Single Muscle. This time it's number 53. This is Junkman. Junkman appears to have giant metal slabs with spikes on them for hands. I think that's because his name is referring to the fact that he's some sort of human trash compactor hero, or villain, actually. He's one of the 6 Devil Knights. He's alongside Planetman, Sneagator, Ashuraman, Sunshine, and I want to say the Ninja. Dude's pretty cool. Shows up in the anime and manga several different times. I will say, though, this figure, there are 2 different Junkmans in the muscle line, and believe it or not, as cool as this guy is, I think the other one is the cooler of the 2. We'll get to him eventually. Until then, stay tuned for more Every Single Muscle. Oh my gosh, could it be? It is! It's time for another Every Single Muscle, and we're here with number 54. This is the Mountain, a big behemoth, a slab of stone and rock and granite, with hate and vitriol in his heart for Justice Chojin everywhere, in an adorable little gi. Of course, in the manga, he's a member of the 7 Devil Chojin alongside Buffaloman and Black Hole and Atlantis and several others. He's a big, scary dude, actually, when you see him in the anime or the manga. Compared with that, though, the figure almost looks he's almost a little cuter. He doesn't have quite as broad shoulders. He looks like he wants a hug. And maybe he does. I don't know if that's really the vibe he's going for, but as a toy, it's pretty cool, and he definitely stands out from many other figures in the line. He's got his own look to him. Gotta like it. Gotta love it. Hey, we're back with another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 55. This is Skyman, and if you can't tell, Skyman is a luchador wrestler hailing from the country of Mexico. He's wearing your traditional luchador mask. It even has the number 1000 on his forehead, which is probably a reference to Mil Mascaras, legendary luchador, prominent in the late 60s, 70s, into the 80s. In the manga and anime series, he's actually a rather minor character. He shows up during the first Chojin Olympics arc, and I believe loses handily to Terryman, but he pops up now and again here and there. And as a figure, he's pretty generic, but when you're playing with a line of figures that are made up of wrestlers and monsters, it's good to have something as traditional as a classic standard luchador style like Skyman right here. Stay tuned for more Every Single Muscle. After an exceptionally long one-day hiatus, we're back with another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 56, Neptune King. Now, Neptune King here, this is the final form of a character named Big the Budo. It turns out his true identity is this character, Neptune King. What I like about the figure, what I like about the design is, he's got this very feudal Japan-inspired look. He looks like an old samurai. He's got a beard and this wily hair flipping up on either side. Really cool. He's bulky and tough. Looks pretty cool. You know, in the anime or manga, he shows up as a partner of Neptuneman in the Big the Buddha attire, and then finally is revealed as the Neptune King. And underneath this mask that we see him have here is actually this like terrifying, ancient-looking face of a dead man. Anyway, there's the figure. More of every single muscle coming soon. We're back with another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 57, Kinnikuman Great. Now, it wouldn't shock me if people often mistook this character for Kinnikuman himself, but Kinnikuman Great is a totally separate character. It's actually several different characters using the same moniker, so this guy might be Terryman. It might also be Prince Kamehame. It's hard to tell from the sculpt itself. They both wore the same outfit and portrayed Kinnikuman's tag team partner, Kinnikuman Great. But yeah, this is a mask that he's wearing here that resembles Kinnikuman itself. And, you know, so that's a little piece of trivia for you. Oh, hey, cool, look, it's another Every Single Muscle, and this time we've got number 58. This is Buffaloman. You may notice the main difference between this Buffaloman and other Buffalomans in the line is that he doesn't have any hair. He doesn't have his gorgeous curly Jerry curl locks that we're accustomed to. This is a bald Buffaloman, and I don't know exactly when that happens in the manga or anime, but regardless, it's great to have a alternate representation of the character. Also worth noting that Buffaloman is such a main character. He's a main protagonist and a main antagonist at different parts in the series, and that's why he's got his own page in the Kinnikuman Chojin Encyclopedia. When I was a kid, I didn't actually own this figure, but I did own a bootleg counterpart that looks a lot like them. And just so you could tell the difference between the bootlegs, for one, you could see it's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit smaller, a glossier sheen to it. He's not made of the same type of rubber, and it says Hong Kong on the back. So if you see a muscle like that, it's probably not a muscle. Oh, hey, what's up? It's another Every Single Muscle, and we're here with number 59. This is Warsman. Now, this Warsman, he's a little different than most because he's got a creepy smile on his face, right? What's up with that? Well, you know, even though Warsman is normally a cyborg, an emotionless robot built to kill, when he's in a particularly violent battle, one that he's kicking some butt in, he gets a sadistic smile on his face, so that's why Warsman looks like this. In the encyclopedia, he's actually got like 3 or 4 pages to himself. 2 of those pages just highlighting his bear claws, which we can see extended a little bit on this figure here. But my favorite moment with Warsman personally is this moment when they finally turn him from the dark side and they use their friendship power on him, and they treat friendship like it's some sort of computer programming that's finally downloaded inside of him, and he absorbs it, and his friendship power is complete. Hachi Machi is another Every Single Muscle, and this time we're here with number 60. This is Meat. Alexandria Meat-kun, the adorable little sidekick of Kinnikuman himself. This is his corner man. This is a little adorable dude, one of the cuter sculpts in the Kinnikuman line, and he's always seen in the anime and manga at Kinnikuman's side, at ringside, cheering him on, yelling, "Go Kinnikuman-san!" But of course, I was always more of a fan of his rendition in the Ultimate Muscle cartoon portrayed by Mike Pollock, a guy that I got to work with when I wrote on Sonic Boom. He voiced Meat very differently, and Meat had more of a gravelly, "Hey, how you doing, New York" kind of accent on that show, which I always thought was a really funny juxtaposition. It was more of a Mickey from Rocky or a Danny DeVito style version of the character, which to me is kind of hilarious. We're here with another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 61. Yeah, it's Kinnikuman again, or Muscle Man as you may know him. Yeah, so this is a pretty simple Kinnikuman, pretty plain. He's just got these little tights on that have these little sewing lines on them. It almost looks like he's got a tearaway crotch, and maybe he does. I don't exactly remember that in the anime or manga, but it's entirely possible. Well, there's Kinnikuman, there's Muscle Man. We will see more of him again in the series, so stay tuned. Guess who's back? Back again. Why, it's another Every Single Muscle, and this time we're here with number 62. This is the Sheik. Now, this character is based on the Sheik from pro wrestling fame, and I'm not talking about the Iron Sheik. I'm actually talking about the original Sheik, Ed Farhat, who is the uncle of pro wrestler VCW fame Sabu. And so in wrestling, there tend to be a lot of foreign heels, right? Evil foreigner characters. The Sheik was one of those. In the world of Kinnikuman and Muscle, Kinnikuman traveled to the United States to go on a pro wrestling tour, and during that tour, he encountered the Sheik. That's where this guy came in. They had a tussle, and Kinnikuman ended up on top, as he often does. But it's also worth mentioning that there's another Sheik character that appears in the anime and manga, an alien Sheik, and the encyclopedia kind of clears up that these two might be the same exact character. So, hey, that's a fun little piece of trivia, isn't it? Everything's great, everything's fine, there's nothing to worry about. We're here with another Every Single Muscle, and it's number 63. This is Goriki. Now, this character, as you can see, he's pretty jacked up. He's got these big, bulging biceps. He's flexing his muscles. It looks like his pecs are about to explode. He is swole as all freaking hell. This character appears in the very beginning of the Kinnikuman manga and anime series. He accompanies Meat to planet Earth to bring him back to planet Kinniku. If Goriki can defeat Kinnikuman in battle, Kinnikuman will have to come back with him. But of course, Goriki loses that match. Kinnikuman's face is so hilarious, Goriki laughs so hard he breaks his own back. Yeah, that's what happens. But thankfully, in the end, Meat convinces Kinnikuman to come back with him by offering him some free food, a bowl of gyudon, which if you haven't had it before, it's a delicious shredded beef on top of rice and a nice sweet sauce. I highly recommend it. You should check it out. Oh, good, it's a distraction. It's just the distraction I need. It's another Every Single Muscle, and we're here with number 64. This is Sunshine. Oh, look at the little rubber man. Look at him. Look how delightful it is. Don't worry about anything. Just look at the little rubber man. This Sunshine is different than the other ones because blah, 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 blah. Who fucking cares? Yay! Haha, we're just going to keep pushing forward and doing these things. It's another Every Single Muscle. We're here with number 65. This is Crystalman. Ooh, Crystalman. Yeah, he's a bit skinny, one of the dinkier looking muscle figures, but I've always had a soft spot in my heart for him because I got him in the very first set of muscles. I got a 28 pack that included this guy right here. In the anime and manga series, actually, he's not in the anime at all. He's in the manga in a story that's kind of like a take on Seven Samurai. I believe it gets adapted into one of the movies in the anime, but this character is not included. Here's a little true fun fact about him, though. This guy, I've had him since way back when, like I said. And, you always name these guys. What do you name them? You might call this guy Skinny Man or something. That would have been the naming convention you'd think I'd go with. But for some reason, I always called him Bob Stain. That was like a first and last name. I don't know. Well, it's another one. Yeah, this one's number 66. This is Mr. Barracuda, a.k.a. Robin Mask. As you can see, the figure's pretty damn cool. He's got this classic Robin Mask knight helmet on. He's also wearing this puffy shirt and a jacket. That's because Mr. Barracuda, the character, when he appeared in the anime and manga, was a manager and trainer of Warsman. We didn't know who his true identity was, and then when he pulled off his face, which turned out to be a mask, it was this big mop of blonde hair, and underneath it, he pulled it off and revealed his true face. This face right here, this mask, underneath the other mask. A hilarious sight, no doubt about it. The figure itself, I mean, look, it's a damn cool one. I've had this one since way back when. I wouldn't give it up for anything. You can't make me. Hey, it's time for another Every Single Muscle, and we're here with number 67. This is Pentagon. As you can see, he's got a pentagram on his face. That's actually probably why he's named as such. He also has these angel wings on the back because he's some sort of angel chojin, this angel superhero. In the anime and manga series, he's actually able to manipulate time. So that's kind of interesting. And also, he's the cousin of fellow Chojin superhero Black Hole. Hey, whoa, Every Single Muscle's back, and this time we're here with number 68. This is Octopus Dragon III. As you can see, he's a pretty damn cool figure. He's pretty bulky. He's got this big cape that flows over his shoulder and all the way around his back. And he's got 4 horns on his head, 2 on top and 2 on the side. That's because he's one evil, scary, badass motherfucker. He appears in the anime series. In the first movie, he's the leader of a group called the Space Underground Pro Wrestling Federation, or something to that extent. He's the main bad guy in that movie. And if you're wondering, why is he called the Third? That's because in the original manga, there's a character named Octopus Dragon, who is apparently his grandfather. Pretty damn cool figure. And hey, here's a little tip. Stick around. I'm going to be giving away this guy pretty soon. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. It's another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 69. Nice. Specialman. Specialman, as you can see here, it says special across his shirt. So if you ever needed to remember his name, that's how you do it. I've had this light blue colored Specialman ever since I was a little kid. Again, he was from my first 28 pack, and I've had him ever since, and I really love him. He's got these cool lines on his face. He's got a big S on his head, the number 99. He's kind of got this football theme. That's because he's an American character in the anime and manga series. He's just like Canadianman. He's kind of this guy who gets beat up in the beginning of most of the arcs to kind of show how dangerous the bad guys are. And then Kinnikuman and his main crew of dudes do their thing. So he's he's a little bit of a loser, but he sure is special. Hey, would you look at that? It's another Every Single Muscle, and this one is number 70, Ashuraman. Now, this is the second Ashuraman figure we've encountered in the series. There will be several more down the line, but I think it's worth noting that this guy is actually pretty dang cool. He's got 6 arms, as all Ashuramen do, but what's different about him is he's kind of got them in different directions, right? He's got a fist up on one side, a fist down on the other side. He's got open palms. He's got these little 2 fingers sticking out on this arm. So even though his face is kind of neutral, I think that the dynamic expression that could be seen with his arms kind of flailing about in every direction really gives this figure its own unique perspective. I will say, though, I don't think it's the quintessential Ashuraman figure, or at least it's not the one that I think of first, mainly because I grew up with a different one. But this guy's pretty cool. We'll get to the other Ashuraman as we go. Stay tuned. Stop scrolling. It's time for another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 71. This is Neptuneman. As you could tell, this is a pretty great muscle figure. He's got a vest with spikes on it. He's got this cool mask. Neptuneman, the character, he's one of the perfect Chojin. He's an enemy at first of Kinnikuman and the team. He comes to become a friend. He's actually based on Hulk Hogan. You can't tell from this figure, but you will be able to see it because there's another figure down the line that's based specifically on the unmasked version of Neptuneman, which we'll get to eventually. But I think it's also worth noting that this is the second Neptuneman that we've encountered in this series. The first was number 16 here on the right. And even though this guy's great, I think we got to give points to the guy on the right just for the pose, right? The arm up in the air just gives it so much personality, so much character. Great figure. Well, both of them are great figures. We're going to keep things going with number 72. This is Sneagator. And it's actually the second Sneagator figure we've encountered in the series. There are several more, believe it or not, including the much-beloved Claw figure. Believe it or not, Claw is actually the same character as this guy. So the idea of the character is he's a shapeshifter, but he can only kind of take one of 2 different types of forms, right? So he can form a lizard of any kind or a sneaker. And I guess somehow a big hand, too. All right, so he's got all kinds of different forms. I don't understand how that works, but I do know that they make for some really great figures. Stick around, we're going to cover all of them. Screw it, let's do another one. It's time for number 73, Mildman. There's no doubt about it. This is a pretty damn cool figure. He's got these shoulder spike things. He's got a little skirt. He's got sunglasses somehow and a mask and... just he's got the works. He's a really cool figure with lots of detail on him. The character itself, Mildman, is the tag team partner of Neptuneman when we first meet him, but we find out that it's just an alternate identity. He unmasks to reveal he's actually Big the Budo, and then later we learn he's Neptune King, a character we've already covered, I want to say around 53, 54 in the muscle line. But anyway, this is a pretty awesome figure. He's big and bulky, he's got sunglasses, and he's going to kick some butt. Who's that muscle? Why, it's Spray Genie. Yeah, he's an aerosol can in superhero wrestler form and now in toy form too. He doesn't really show up much in the manga or anime. He's a really minor character. The truth is, most of the characters in the Kinnikuman franchise were fan submissions that they adapted and incorporated into the series. This guy was a fan submission that actually they never ended up doing anything in particular with, but he still made the initial page of fan submissions and therefore is officially in the canon and shows up in the encyclopedia and everything. As you can see, my guy's got a little schmutz on him in the front there, but I'm not worried about that. I like my toys a little played with. Hey, wait, hold on a second. Have you guys seen this? It's another Every Single Muscle, and this time we're here with number 75. This is Abdullah. Yeah, pretty cool figure. As you can see, he's a big hefty dude with a big hairy bottom half. If you're wondering where his name comes from, he's named after and modeled after Abdullah the Butcher, the pro wrestler who's known for his hardcore matches and using a fork on people's foreheads. He's even got some scars on his forehead, just like Abdullah the Butcher's. This character shows up in the manga and anime in the very beginning of the series. He's a kaiju monster that Kinnikuman battles and inevitably defeats. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty cool figure, I think.
The people versus muscle. Millions are being captured. America is safe.
Muscle things, what could be worse?
Muscle Part 2. They're orange, they're green, they're purple.
Worse.
muscle things in disguise. They're hiding everywhere.
I can't stand them!
I can't stop them!
Muscle Part 2. Hundreds hide in packs, separately sold. Muscle 2, people nothing.
Hey Internet, if you don't already, why not subscribe to the channel? We're talking every single muscle. We're talking every single battle beast. We're going on hunts for vintage toys, and we're doing deep dives into some of the most obscure and delightful toy lines out there. If you like collecting action figures from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, hit like, smash subscribe, click the little bell doodad, and leave some comments below. I want to talk toys with you guys, so just do it. Which is the most disturbing muscle figure? I think we have the answer. It's this one, number 76, Iraganez. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. It's a Japanese word and not one that translates to English very well, apparently. I do know it has something to do with having gills, but I think looking at this figure in this, very, very human-skinned color, with all of its rolls and all of its butt cheek, makes it definitely one of the more upsetting figures. His face is kind of upsetting. It's an overall upsetting muscle figure. A very minor character in the anime and manga. I think it's a kaiju monster when he shows up. In his original color, it's a little less disturbing, but still somehow disturbing. What do you think of this guy? Does he give you nightmares at night like he does for me? Let me know in the comments. We're here with muscle figure number 77. This is Samson Teacher. And as you may have come to realize, there are several muscle figures with multiple arms in the toy line. Usually it's Ashuraman, or Ashuraman's father, or a younger version of Ashuraman, or Ashuraman in his fancy outfit. But today this guy's only got 4 arms, and that's because he's not Ashuraman, but he is Ashuraman's teacher, hence the name. This guy actually gets absorbed by some sort of parasite and turns into the evil Chojin known as Satan Cross, a toy and character that is legendary in the muscle line. It is the rarest of all muscle figures, and we'll get to him way at the end. But here he is, looking awesome in his Samson form. He's got a little headband. He's got a wife beater with extra holes for his extra arms, and he's got a big prominent belt. I think he's a great figure, and I love him in this blue color. Sometimes the internet just kind of sucks, and other times there's every single muscle, and we're here with number 78, Viking Man. Now, what I love about Viking Man is that he really just feels like this soulless warrior from hell, right? He's just got this helmet and these beady little eyes in there, and he just looks like this emotionless demon ready to unleash violence on the world. He's got these 2 downturned horns. He's got this cool helmet. Like I said, he's got those beady little eyes. Just an overall really cool figure. And I think it's worth noting that Viking Man does not appear in the manga at all, and he's not in the encyclopedia. That's because he only shows up in the anime in a very small role. He's there in the very first Chojin Olympics arc. He's probably representing like Norway or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But he just kind of shows up for a blip. But that doesn't matter because it didn't stop them from making an awesome toy out of him. If you ask me, the best action figures are the ones that are multifunctional, right? Where they're not just a toy, but also a useful tool. Like Hammerhead here. If you need to hammer some tiny little rubber nails in, he's your dude. And he's number 79 in the muscle figure toy line. Obviously, this is a great figure. He's got some amazing detail. He's got the hammer on top of his head. He's got these bandoliers. He's got an angry little face there. As far as the character goes, this is a very minor character. And while he did exist and was submitted as a character in the 80s, early enough to get a muscle figure, he doesn't show up in the storyline until this arc in 2011. It's not even an arc. It's a one-off story, Legend of the Miraculous Savior. And he ends up playing kind of a lackey and a flunky to this character Tyrant who takes over a planet, and Kinnikuman has to go and rescue them. But as far as the figure is concerned, I mean, dude's cool as hell. When it comes to inanimate objects getting anthropomorphized into superhero pro wrestlers, there's nothing better than the muscle toy line, and this is a prime example of that. This is number 80, Toilet Paper Mummy. As you can see, his body is a roll of toilet paper. His head is a roll of toilet paper. His hat is a roll of toilet paper. And his arms and legs are wrapped in, you guessed it, toilet paper. This is a hilarious character, a great unique toy. As far as the character himself, he doesn't really show up in the anime or manga to my knowledge in any significant way. He probably was just a character submission that made the page and ended up making it into the encyclopedia someday. But I will say that retroactively, this character became known as Toilet Paper Mummy Senior because Later on, when they do Ultimate Muscle and Kinnikuman Nisei, there's another character also named Toilet Paper Mummy, which is now known as Junior. But hey, who cares about that? This is a great figure that you can wipe your butt with. Don't pretend like you don't love this. It's muscle figure number 81, Moai Man. I absolutely adore this guy. I've had him since I was a little kid. He's just chiseled out of granite. He's scary looking. He's got that furrowed brow. And the truth of the matter here is that he's actually based on the Moai statues of Easter Island. So that's why he looks exactly like the Easter Island statues. He doesn't do very much in the anime or manga in any way, but he does show up in the encyclopedia. Really a great figure. I don't know what else to say, but, you know, let me know in the comments what you think about him. Don't look now, it's muscle figure number 82, Ramen Man. And frankly, it's kind of strange that this is the first Ramen Man figure that we're seeing in the line, considering what a big part he plays in the overall Kinnikuman franchise. He's one of the main characters, he's one of the main allies of Kinnikuman and one of the idol Chojin. That said, there are only 2 or 3 of him in the muscle toy line, this being the first one. Let's take a look at the figure itself. I mean, what an awesome figure. He's really expressive. He looks like he's screaming. He's about to karate chop your ass. So many of the muscle figures kind of have this more standard pose with their arms at their side or maybe slightly up. But this is one of the rare figures that he gets to have his own pose. He's got his arm out. He's got his other arm up like he's ready to chop through you. You gotta love the Ramen Man figure. We're back with muscle figure number 83. This is Hang Killer. Now, he definitely gives off some BDSM vibes. He's covered in straps and snaps and studs. He's probably a stud himself. But that isn't to take away from this guy because he's so intricately detailed. It really, really makes for a great toy, like all muscle figures are. As far as the character's concerned, he doesn't show up in the anime or manga really at all. He was a character submission in the 80s, which is how he got turned into muscle form. And he doesn't even show up in the encyclopedia. But there is some entry in the encyclopedia for a character named Dr. Bombay that says that he previously, when he was younger, used to fight on the streets and, you know, defend the streets of Britain or something using the moniker Hang Killer. So it's possible that this character was folded into that character. Oh, hell yeah, it's figure number 84, Snake Man, and he's as cool as he looks, and he is kind of exactly what you expect, right? He's a snake. He's a man. He's a man wrapped in a snake. He's a snake man. And in this light blue color, you gotta admit, he looks really freaking cool. All the details pop. You love the fangs. Just love the, you know, the snake head on top of him. As far as the character's concerned, he doesn't really show up in the Kinnikuman franchise in any significant way to my knowledge. But that doesn't matter. He shows up in the encyclopedia, and most importantly, here he is in muscle form. It's an easy Sunday morning edition of Every Single Muscle, and we're here with number 85. This is Kinnikuman Zebra, and I think it's pretty unequivocal fact that this is a dope-ass figure. This guy is awesome. He looks pissed off. He looks ready for a fight. He's covered in these zebra stripes. As far as the character's concerned, there's an arc in the anime and manga series where Kinnikuman's rightful seat on the throne as the Prince of Planet Kinniku is threatened by 5 other Kinnikuman who step forward and claim to be the heirs, and Kinnikuman Zebra is one of them. A really dope figure. There's no denying it if you look at this guy. But I'll say this, there's another Kinnikuman Zebra in the line that's even cooler, and many argue it's the coolest figure in the entire series. We'll get to that eventually. Stay tuned. We're back with another one. It's number 86, Copper Bellman. As you can see, I've got a magenta-colored Copper Bellman. He's a very simple-looking character. He kind of looks like a robot with some Japanese characters on his chest. Not too much to talk about as far as the figure itself is concerned. As far as the character, he's barely a character. He is a background character at best. He might show up in a panel or two of the manga. But what's most interesting about Copper Bellman is the one piece of merch that was made of him that, to me, makes no sense at all. It's the Copper Bellman assist hook that you use to, I guess, open doors or touch buttons or hang on the subway. It was this thing that was made in Japan. I really wanted to buy one myself, but they were like 45 to 50 bucks, especially after shipping to the US. So I didn't get it, but what an absolutely strange piece of merchandise. It's another Every Single Muscle, and we've got number 87, Magnitude 1 Man. I didn't have this guy growing up, but I do have this green guy now, and he's pretty damn cool. If you can't tell what he is, he's actually a volcano that's about to explode. And if you're wondering what that bar is around his head, that's a safety bar to protect anybody from falling inside the volcano. Yeah, that makes sense. Really great figure. What can we say? He looks ripped. He looks jacked. He looks like he's about to erupt. As far as the character is concerned, definitely a very minor character, but he made his way into the encyclopedia, and now here he is in amazing toy form. Enjoy. Now that we got that out of the way, it's number 88, Armstrong. I've always been a big fan of this figure. I've had him since I was a little kid. I always thought his mask was kind of cat-like, but I think the most distinguishing feature is probably the fact that he's got these giant pectoral muscles, this huge upper body, and these big arms too, and that's because he's living up to his name. He's named for his arms, hence Armstrong. Now, as far as the character's concerned, kind of interesting, actually. When the original 7 Devil Chojin show up in the manga series, they're also seen with like a few others that are now known as the Lost Devil Chojin, and the reason for that is because they're only in that one panel. By the time the next issue starts, they're gone. It's almost as if they never existed in the first place, and Armstrong is one of those guys, so kind of a fun, weird story, and we'll see more of those guys as we move on. Stay tuned. Oh, hey, cool, it's another Every Single Muscle, and this time we're here with number 89. This is Watchman. Now, I think it's safe to say, first of all, great figure, obviously, I'll get that out of the way, but the other thing to say about him is he doesn't automatically read as a watch, or at least he didn't when I was a 5-year-old getting this toy in my toy box. You can see it now. It's in his face. He has a watch face, but his body looks like a camera or a washing machine or something. So he doesn't necessarily automatically read as that, at least not in this form, but who cares? He looks like a cool little robot dude, and if you put him on your shelf next to your Z-Bots and your Arco Rogun robots or your muscles, he's going to look awesome. He shows up in the 21st Chojin Olympics arc. That's the second arc where they do an Olympics. I believe Brocken Jr. just kind of kills him really quickly. He gets sent back to Switzerland for repairs, and hey, who cares though? What a great little toy. Moving right along, it's number 90, Combat Man. Now, Combat Man is a pretty cool figure. I say that about all of them, but I mean it this time, and none of the other times. That's not true. I love all of them. Combat Man, though, he's got this robot vibe. He's got this cyborg vibe. He could just be a dude with some sort of breathing apparatus like Darth Vader. Definitely sci-fi feel. And, you know, when you're a little kid playing with muscles, you didn't know what any of them were. The backstory from Kinnikuman over in Japan, that doesn't matter even the slightest bit. You got to make it up. So it was up to you what it was about Combat Man, and you got to make that decision yourself. That's the beauty of these toys a little bit, isn't it? But since you're asking, and since we're talking about it, his backstory in the anime and manga is minimal. He's just really a background character who pops up once. So don't think too hard about it. Just enjoy the little rubber dudes. We're back with another one. It's muscle figure number 91, SW26. And I think I could say pretty unequivocally that this is one of the blander muscle figures. He definitely doesn't stand up to some of the cooler sculpts. He's pretty plain, right? He's just a skinny, bald guy. He does have one big open hand and a fist, and he actually has ears, and he's kind of rolling his eyes, so he's got a little personality. He also has his name, SW26, imprinted on his forehead, so that's what he's got going for him. It's not much. As far as the character's concerned, believe it or not, he's not in the encyclopedia. I'm not exactly sure why, but he does show up in the manga and the anime. He is a cyborg pilot that very briefly drops Kinnikuman off on planet Kinniku right before the American tour arc, and then drives him right back to planet Earth. So he's not there for very long. But yeah, that's the figure. He's kind of plain, but, you know, they're not all winners. Let's keep things going with number 92. This is Devil Knight. I think this is a pretty great figure. As you can see, he's got the kind of standard Kinnikuman fin on top of his head. But what sets this figure apart is the cape, right? It really creates some width to the figure. It adds some heft to him. It adds a lot of personality, makes it a really cool, almost like magician-looking toy. I've always loved it, especially in this cool magenta color that I have it in. Now, as far as the character goes, he's not a character at all. Devil Knight is a disguise for the 6 Devil Knights when they first arrive on the scene. So that's Sunshine and Ashuraman and Planet Man and a couple of the others and the rest. So when they first show up, they're wearing this disguise. They look like this and they all unmask. And surprisingly, somehow underneath that, there's a giant man made of brick and a 6-armed guy and a dude made of planets and a lizard dude, all hiding under this disguise. Hey, cool, it's another Every Single Muscle, and this time it's number 93, Buffaloman, or Terrible. Now, I know we've definitely covered other Buffaloman figures before. This is probably the third one that we've gotten to in the line, and there will be more to come, but this Buffaloman is special and different because he's this like shirtless Buffaloman. He's kind of jacked. He's also, I think, the tallest of the Buffaloman figures slightly. And as you can see, I've got him in this cool dark blue color. For me, this Buffaloman was kind of the quintessential Buffaloman that was the leader of the evil forces when I was playing with my Muscleman figures, and the others were his family, or the Buffalo clan, if you will. Really great figure, if you ask me. I'm a big fan of it, and I know you guys are too, because in the Muscle line, there are only two characters with names, Muscleman and Terry Bull here, so there he is. Let me know what you think in the comments. We're going to keep things rocking and rolling with muscle figure number 94. This is Kinnikuman. Now, I think it's okay to say that this is one of the more plain muscle figures when you take a look at him. He's just kind of your standard pro wrestler. He does have a beard, but there's not too much to talk about, not too much to write home about. That's okay. As far as the character's concerned, he first shows up during the Chojin Olympics arc, the first one that they do, and he's representing the country of the Central African Republic, so he's from Africa. In the encyclopedia, it's very much inferred that he's rather well endowed. I guess that's a stereotype, but at least it's a positive stereotype. I don't know if I should say that. All that said, in the anime, his name is changed to Kuntaman because Kintama means testicles in Japanese, and that is not appropriate for a children's cartoon show. And it seems that they took the word Kinta and Kunta and thought about Kunta Kinte from the Roots TV series starring LeVar Burton and used that as the name reference for this character. So, the more you know. Okay, this is a cool one. It's number 95, Big Radial. Now, if you take a good look at this guy, as you can tell, he's made up of tires, right? His arms are tires, his legs are tires, his whole body is tires, his head's a tire. He's made up of tires. He's ostensibly the Michelin Man, but even cooler, and it's a great toy. It looks awesome on the shelf. He looks great standing next to the other muscle figures. Really stands out. Now, as far as character goes, he's not much of a character in the manga. He might show up in the background in a very small, insignificant way, but in the anime, he's actually the main antagonist of the Kinnikuman Traffic Safety PSA. Yeah, that's a thing, and you should definitely go track it down. Why not kickstart your weekend with another Every Single Muscle? This time it's number 96. This is the Ninja. Now, we've seen the Ninja before, but this is a very different sculpt. As you can tell with this guy, he's looking pretty buff. He's got this upper body that looks like it's covered in some sort of chainmail, or at least something heavily textured, which really gives a lot of detail to the figure. I like that a lot. He's also got these weird little, I don't know, booty shorts and these gloves that go up to his elbows. He's making a weird expression on his face. Still a pretty great figure. If you love muscles, you probably love this guy too. We've talked about the Ninja a little bit before, but just to recap, he's one of the 6 Devil Knights alongside Sunshine and Ashuraman and Sneagator, a few of the other dudes. And he shows up throughout the Kinnikuman series. But back to the figure, pretty dang cool. Today on Every Single Muscle, we're talking number 97, Condora. To start things off, look, he's an amazing figure. He's very clearly an awesome bird warrior man. He's got these wings on the back. If I had to venture, he's a condor. I got that from his name. Speaking of names, I think it's worth mentioning that in the Muscle toy line, when I'm giving you a name, sometimes that's an official name, and sometimes it's kind of what the fans have gleamed the name to be. You know, Condora is listed in the encyclopedia as Condorur with an ER, which just doesn't really sound like a name at all, right? But that might be the way the Japanese have translated into English text. If you look at the wiki page, it's listed also as Condorar with an AR, which makes even less sense. So Condora has become kind of a more, fan-given name. I saw it in Brian Bonanno's Muscle Checklist, which I recommend you download if you're a muscle collector. That's just what I wanted to say about that. And also, here's a little tag. I named him Butterfly Man as a kid, because I was dumb. Let's do another one, number 98, Dark 2 or Dark Nisei. Now, just taking the figure at hand here, pretty standard pro wrestler figure. He just got a wrestler body. He's got some tights, some knee pads, a little bit of arm strap on his upper bicep there. His face has some Japanese, I want to say that's katakana, not 100% sure. So, figure-wise, pretty standard-looking dude, not too much to talk about. Let's go back to the name here, though, right? As you can see, he's got 2 names, Dark 2 and Dark Nisei. That's because, strangely enough, and it kind of reverse of what we were talking about in the last video, the fans have taken on the Dark Nisei name. And when you read about it on Muscle fan sites and in Muscle checklists, he's usually listed as Nisei, but if you look at the encyclopedia, it just says Dark 2. They stuck with the simpler, more Anglo-sized version of the name, And for some reason, we've been using the Japanese name, so I don't know, man. There's no right and wrong here. Also, this guy, for me, was the mayor, for reasons I cannot explain. Let's do this. It's number 99, the Ball, aka the Mari, which I can only assume means ball. He is a volleyball-shaped Chojin superhero character. He's a volleyball with arms, legs, and a face, and he is so damn awesome. I love him so much. I've had him since my very first 28 pack as a little boy. I don't know why there's the letter R on his head. That is not something I can explain to you. In fact, if you look at him up in the encyclopedia, he's got a B on his head, which makes a whole lot more sense, except for the fact that when you look at his name, it's still the Mari. That's how they translated it. So they understand the B for ball, but I really don't know what's going on there. But what I do know is that this is a figure that belongs in my toy collection and probably belongs in yours too. Putting him next to the other muscle figures is just a joy to do. And the fact of the matter is he's also like slightly smaller, right? They're not all exactly the same size, and that's what kind of makes the line special. Every single muscle hits a milestone with this guy. It's figure number 100, Bang Bang Jin. Now, just taking a look at him, he's obviously a really cool, really rad figure. He's looking kind of evil, and he's obviously made of wood, right? Or at least half of him is. He's got this wood trunk arm, and what I really like about it is this little extra detail of the little branch sticking off the shoulder with a leaf on it. His face, he's got this mask that makes him look evil and kind of two-faced because of the line going up the middle. Just an overall awesome toy, as most muscle figures are. Character-wise, you know, he's a background character. He might pop in once or twice, but not much. His name is kind of up for debate as well. Bang Bang Jin, Bon Bon Ji, different things of that variation. It ultimately, I'm not really sure what it means, but that doesn't matter too much. What matters is that he makes for an awesome collectible figure. Well, we did it. 50 more muscle figures are in the can, but there are still so many more to discuss. If part 3 is uploaded yet, I'll link it right here. But if it's not, take a look at some of these other videos. I promise they're chock full of good stuff too. Whatever the case, stick around for more every single muscle.